Alright, what is going on, Super Saiyan fam? Super Saiyan Paul here, back at it again with some more Dragon Ball Super news, information, and spoilers. Chapter 84, some major bombshells have been dropped, courtesy of DBS Chronicles, so we're about to dive into it. But before we jump to this video, guys, as always, smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell icon for more. This way you guys can stay up to date for everything Dragon Ball Super related, and we can discuss what you guys think about these spoilers and what's going to be coming up later on in the chapters. So jumping right into it, Chapter 84 spoilers also reveals more about Goku's Saiyan pride. So he remembers his dad's face, and he also realizes that he doesn't fully believe in his own power until now, actually. So what we see is that it's called Chapter 84 Pride of the Warrior Race, and the recording that he got from the scouter ends. So after this, Goku has a major revelation, and Naito says after this, as soon as Bardock could move, he left the planet after his battle, but he left the scouter there. After hearing the voice recording, we saw that Goku's gonna have a bit of a flash, and what we notice is that he remembers himself in that Saiyan pod as a baby. So remember, he was floating in that pod as a baby, and Bardock had put his hand on the glass. We see a flashback to that where Goku had just briefly opened his eyes. He had seen Bardock coming back from his battle, wounded and damaged, and Jine's right there in front of him, and Bardock just touches the glass. And this is like a different scene, a different point of view, but it's much better than what remember back from the Bardock movie back in the day where he was just like average Saiyan power level. It wasn't nothing like this. Just they actually depicted him as a much better father. So he sees his eyes briefly open up, and then they shut, and what we see here is that Bardock leaves one day. You see Jine, you see Raditz, and what we notice is that with Goku waking up, you see one moment again where Bardock's face is against the glass. So this might be the day that Frieza actually ends up killing them all. Maybe there's no dialogue on some of these panels, it's just the artwork. And what we also notice is that there's also the scene from the Dragon Ball Minus chapter, as well as the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, where his hand's on the pod and they're shipping him away. He's in his baby Saiyan armor, and this is when they just ship him off to Earth. Now, so after that, Goku comes out of the flashback, and then he then says, "Vegeta, I think now I understand the pride of us Saiyans." And he says, "Maybe not." So he's in questioning it. And he also says, "Remembering my dad's face made me realize something. I didn't fully believe in my own power." And then Vegeta says, "I lost sight of it too. It's not the Saiyan sins that we need to carry, but our pride." So it's hopefully something kind of similar to where you remember back in the day, SS2 Vegeta, SS Majin Vegeta versus Goku, that Saiyan pride. Hopefully we're gonna get some more of that. So he says, "I never thought it'd be your father that reminds me of this." And Goku starts laughing at him for that. He says, "However, I had no idea it was thanks to the Dragon Balls that you and Raditz survived as kids. It's not fair." And he says, "You shouldn't say that to me." So remember that wish that we saw in the previous chapter, in chapter 83, where Bardock literally says, "I just wanted to wish that my sons end up thriving." That's what the dragon actually ended up using before he disappeared. So that's what we kind of believed. But yo, this definitely means that as a kid, it protected him all that time. That's why they survived as kids. And the entirety of the original show Dragon Ball, this is why this kid had plot armor the entire time. Prot armor. He had the entirety of that because of Bardock's wish, technically, until he met Raditz, and the two of them ended up being the death of each other. So it's interesting how that works, right? It's actually a really interesting dynamic. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section below. So Vegeta then fires back, "May my sons grow up well? Was it? What spoiled Saiyan brats?" And then Goku says, "Look who's talking, aren't you always spoiling Bulla too?" So he just went right at his daughter. He said, "This and that are two different things." So Naito says, "Bardock, I never thought your legacy would be conveyed in this way. A race's pride is not always to atone for the sins." So it's a bit of a heartwarming scene. And he says it's not about revenge either. It's about accepting one's true self. It's the same for all races. So this can go for even humans as us, as our own beings. It's very spiritual in that sense. Let me know what you also think about that, guys. I want to know. We'll have more discussions as this goes on, but he says, "Both of you guys come here. Let me heal you before gas arrives." And then they thank him. So he heals them. So now they're back at full power, I would assume. And he gives them new clothes, as remember when Gohan got new threads from Piccolo right before he went off to go and destroy Majin Buu as the strongest character in Dragon Ball Z canonically, non-fused. That's kind of what they just did. They gave him outfit change and gave them Bardock's armor, Saiyan armor looking. We don't know the exact colors yet, but he said, "I like my old outfit more." And he says, you don't want to dress like your father, Bardock? He says, even I don't want to put on this jacket. Well, even Vegeta doesn't even want to wear the Saiyan clothing, which is ironic because remember when he showed up to Earth. And so very, very interesting stuff. And that's the end of the spoilers. So with a recap, basically with everything being shown, 1, Goku gets the flashback from the Scouter. 2, Goku remembers the Saiyan pride and remembering the brief moments that he opened his eyes, saw his father in the pod after getting battle damaged, and actually witnessed his father after beating Gas. And it's interesting because you see that brief moment and then you also see him again when he's about to be shipped off to Earth, and there might have been one more scene in between, but remember, he's in the same pod, he sees all these things. And the other biggest revelation is that Bardock's wish was actually from a dragon that actually protected Goku in the entirety of Dragon Ball, all the way to where he actually links up with his brother in the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z, aka Dragon Ball 2. Remember, that was a typo on Akira's part that actually became Z. So ironically, that's how it happened. They were safe as their kids. Once they linked up in the future, that's when their deaths happened. So it's kind of funny how Bardock protected them in this timeline versus the other non-canonical movies, but it's kind of funny how he protected them through all of that, and this wish is what ties everything together. So technically, Goku has always had plot armor instinct, and now he has the Saiyan armor, which he's going to be running into battle with. So Saiyan armor MUI. Let's see how Goku forms up in this. So we don't have to change the form, but they changed the fit. So MUI could look exactly the same as it always has, but them flying into battle here, he's going to be looking in the Saiyan outfit. It may even be Bardock's armor from the Dragon Ball Broly movie or the Dragon Ball Minus chapter, so I would just expect that. What do you guys think about this? How do you guys feel about this? I want to know, because I think it's a very clever way of changing it without having to change up the form, but I would have rather seen like MUI, if this is truly like the Saiyan abilities untapped, it's the Saiyan pride untapped. We've seen MUI time and time again. If he's really going to be in the full-on master, because it's gotten retconned so many times and nerfed so many times, because it had to. Inevitably, I'd call this years ago where, yo, after the Tournament of Power, they had to nerf this ability. It was way too strong. But now that they've actually said, okay, now it's really full power, I was hoping for maybe Super Saiyan hair or maybe sparks or something flying out of it. So what do you guys expect to see when he transforms into MUI? Is it just the costume difference, kind of similar to what Gohan had, where, yeah, it's just a spike that popped out and he has a little bit of a different aura, especially you could tell in the video games with Elder Kai unlockability. But let me know if we're going to get anything major in the cosmetic change, or is it just to be MUI Goku Saiyan armor, just to represent this is Goku mastering it with Saiyan pride. So he's literally wearing the Saiyan pride on his chest with the mastered MUI, and he's going to be heading into battle either in this chapter or the next, and most likely he's going to be washing gas. So let me know what you guys think. I think this is an okay revelation. I don't think it's nothing too crazy, and I kind of predicted most of this stuff in the previous videos. Like I said, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that bell icon for more. We're gonna be diving into more of these spoilers on the stream as well. Come check me out, Super Saiyan Paul on twitch.tv. We're always streaming every single day. We're playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, so make sure you guys come through and join the discussion. I'll be seeing you guys then. All right, Young Money baby, yeah.